have 4 terms. And again, I am going to start with multiplying the thing that'll get you the thing that you want to factor, so you can kind of see it forwards before backwards, if you know what I mean, which you don't, but that's okay because it doesn't matter. Let's say you've got this. Let's say you've got 2x plus y times let's just say c minus 3. Okay, this is a binomial times a binomial that won't come out to be a trinomial because the only time you get those is when you have the same variables starting off or ending off. So in order for me to multiply this, what am I going to have to do? I am going to multiply every term in the first thing by every term in the second thing, and then multiply this times both of those. You can't use FOIL. FOIL works, but you won't be able to combine the middle terms.
So distributive property.
Yes, which is what FOIL really is.
Yeah. This one.
Sure, let's call it FOIL, but you're not, the middle terms will not combine to give you a trinomial. You'll end up with 4 terms. Watch. Two first terms together give you 2xc. The 2 outside terms, 2x and a minus 3 is a minus 6x. The 2 inside terms is a yc, and the 2 outside terms are, or last terms is negative 3y.
That's your answer.
Okay, that's what I get when I multiply them together. You can't simplify because there's no like terms here. This is why I gave you this. For tomorrow, they're going to give you this, and you have to somehow get it back to that.
No.
Okay. It's backwards. Okay. And it's called factoring by grouping for a reason. Okay. What you are looking for on this, okay, is first of all, you're looking for a common factor, which none of these have. There's no same thing. There is no same thing that all 4 of these terms have. So you can't take out a common factor. But what you're looking to do is to group these in groups and looking for a common factor. In other words, if I group these 2 together, what common factor do they have? They both have a 2 and an x. Okay, so you take the first one, you take the first group of 2, 2xc minus 6x, take out a 2x, what are you left with? C minus 3, okay? And then what your hope is, you look at this other group over here and you take out a common factor, and you're hoping that you get this c minus 3 there too, because if you do, if you get these as common factors, then you can rewrite it like this. Let me show you. If I factor that together, what can I take out of yc minus 3y? Well, I need to know y. Oh, y, sure. And you left with c minus 3. You are looking for this. You ended up with the same factor, and when you get the same factor, you can rewrite it like this. The 2 things that are in front make the first binomial, and you just write 1 c minus 3 because then it just ends up being the distributive property all over again. Now, it's not that hard, but it's not necessarily. If it doesn't work out, then it's not factorable. And this would be as simplified as you could get, or you could, it's not, you just can't factor it. So you're looking to take something out, and when you do, you're looking to get a common factor that they get, and then you can kind of do reverse distributive property. Now, with that being said, I'm just going to give you a sheet here, and we're going to practice a couple of them and see what you got. This will be part of it. Not all of it, I'm sure, because you've had such a quick class today. So,
Frog.
please tell me I have plenty of these. Did I give you one already? Okay. Let's look at problem number 2. Problem number 2 from your thing there. Somebody read that out for me. Lizzie, lead them.
12p cubed
12p cubed
minus 21p squared
minus 21p squared
plus 28p
plus 28p
minus 49.
minus 49. Now, let me also, before I start this, tell you, you are allowed to rearrange the terms if you think that they factor or group in a better in a different way, okay? Is that right? Do you not have it back?
Now that's number 2.
Problem number 2. 2?
Ooh.
Okay. Again, the first thing you look for is, do they have a common factor? You always look for that, whether it's a trinomial, a 4-term thing. Is there something you can take out of all 4? No. Okay.
Wait, no.
Now, when you look at this to factor this, just looking at the groups before we do it, do these have a common factor?
P squared.
You can take out a 3p squared. Looking at these two, can you take something out?
7.
A 7. So let's try and see what happens when we do that. Looking at this group here, I'm going to take a 12p cubed minus 21p squared. I'm going to take out a 3p squared. And when I do, I'm left with 4p minus 7. Correct? Gonna do the same thing over here with 28p minus 49. You said I could take out a positive 7. When you do, you're left with a 4p minus 7, which is very good because if you have a common factor there, then you can rewrite this as a binomial times a binomial. With this and this as your first binomial, 3p squared plus 7, make sure you put it in parentheses, and then just one of those because that is the reverse distributive property. This would be factoring that out. If you don't get this, then either you need to try something else or it isn't factorable. It's not that bad, is it?
No.
Problem number 4. Let's do another one there.
6v cubed
6b cubed
minus 16v squared plus 21v minus 56.
A back one? We'll do
Do you
one of
see
those.
the back ones?
Yeah,
We'll do one of those. And again, you are allowed to rearrange them. I don't necessarily know that it makes a difference, but it might sometime. How's that? Can I take anything out of all 3 of them, or all 4 of them? No. So if I do this, what can I take out of 6v cubed minus 16v squared? A 2v squared. That leaves me with 3v minus 8. And I'm hoping to get a 3v minus 8 on that other side when I'm done. What can I take out of 21v minus 56? 7. And you're left with a 3v minus 8, which is good, because then you're left with 2v squared plus 7 in parentheses times 3v minus 8. Factored out. And then pick a hard one for me.
26.
26.
26, read it out for me.
9mz minus 4nc
MC
nc
and C.
plus 3mc minus 12nc.
And C?
Z.
Yes.
Z?
Yeah.
Z.
Were there other Z's?
No, just the last one.
Actually, what was that?
Well, this is the
Well, the
other
first
Z.
one.
MC, NC, MC, Z.
That's a lot.
That's
Okay, and here is where, if you look at the first 2, you can't factor anything out of that. But again, I said you can rearrange the terms. And since this has a 9 and an M and that has a 3 and an M, I would probably put those 2 together. 9mz plus 3mc minus 4nc plus 12nz. You're allowed to put them in any order you want so you can factor something out. Then I would try to take a,
It's a minus. It's minus.
this is minus 12, this is minus 12. So I'm going to take a 3 out here, I'm sorry, I'm going to take a 3m out and be left with 3z plus c, and I'm hoping I'm getting something that I can work with over here. For this, you don't want your terms in here, since I want this to be a positive thing, I'm going to take a negative,
Man.
I'm going to take a negative for and out and see what I'm left with. And I take a -4 out, and I'm left with a positive c and a positive 3z.
That's the same thing.
It is, because you are allowed, in this parenthesis, it doesn't matter the order of the this, you can just change this to be 3z plus c, because it's, when you add, you can add in any order, it's whatever the commutative property of addition. So then there you're gonna have 3m minus 4n as one binomial, 3z plus c as the other binomial.
It's actually pretty fun.
I was hoping that you would say that.